Femicide in Mexico refers to the intentional killing of women because of their gender. It's a deeply rooted issue with complex social, cultural, economic, and political dimensions. The country has been grappling with alarming rates of femicides for years, particularly in regions marked by drug related violence, organized crime, and systemic gender inequality. When men are oppressed, it's a tragedy. When women are oppressed, it's tradition. This is a phrase that the author, journalist, speaker, and social activist Letty Cotton Puggerman once said, letting the audience to know how hard being a woman has been throughout the years. Now, this code can be understood regarding to only gender roles or gender stereotypes, etc., when in reality there is worse things that, for example, femicide and specifically in Mexico. Femicide in Mexico has had a deep effects on society, especially impacting women's safety and human rights. In Mexico, this issue has escalated over the recent years, leading to increased fear and vulnerability among women of all ages. The consequences of femicide extend beyond the immediate loss of life. This feel of fear and vulnerability turns into anger. Women get enraged for the fact of being dismissed. They eventually get tired and they'll try to be acknowledged by protesting and destroying the city if it's necessary. The impunity surrounding femicide intensifies its impact. The failure of authorities to adequately investigate and prosecute cases of femicide sends a message that violence against women is tolerated, further maintaining a culture of silence and impunity. This lack of justice amplifies the trauma experienced by victims, families, and the trust in institutions gets weaker. Women between the ages of 15 and 29 are disproportionately affected by femicide, according to the INEGI data. However, women of all ages are at risk. At times, the dread of danger can even invade our homes, contributing to an increased sense of insecurity among women. In the book Nueve cuentos acerca de mujeres en situación de acoso, Raquel Castro narrates the tale of Marisela, a 16-year-old girl whose mother suffers with the disappearance of her other daughter. Seeking comfort, Marisela and her mother relocate to the residence of her maternal aunt, Leonor, whose husband extends his support. Choosing to stay in her new home, Marisela encounters harassment from her uncle, Rodrigo, who, in a state of intoxication, confesses his culpability in the murder of her sister, buried in the backyard. Meanwhile, Leonor maintains a complicit silence. Such occurrences highlight the severity of femicide in Mexico, where the safety of homes fails to provide refuge for women. In conclusion, femicide in Mexico profoundly affects women's safety, mental health, and well being, leading to feelings of anger and frustration. Women mobilize in protest to address systemic injustices, although these protests sometimes escalate into urban unrest. Femicide highlights entrenched discrimination and equality in Mexican society, hindering women's full participation. It reflects deeper issues like gender inequality and culture of impunity. To combat femicide, proactive steps are essential to advance gender equality and dismantle patriarchal systems, fostering a society that rejects violence and discrimination against women. This involves prioritizing specialized training for law enforcement to adeptly identify, investigate, and prosecute femicide cases. Additionally, it's crucial to elevate the voices of survivors, activists, and grassroots organizations dedicated to ending femicide. Their active involvement in shaping, executing, and assessing policies and initiatives targeting gender based violence and paramount. By implementing these recommendations and mobilizing collective action, Mexico can make significant strides in preventing femicide, protecting women's rights, and creating a safer and more equitable society for all.